Family Christian School is finishing up our 15th year of serving like-minded families in the education of their children. We consider it an honor and a privilege to partner with families in this effort. Tonight, we are here to recognize the hard work and achievements of Grant, Emma, Madison, Morgan, Anna, Chris, Aaron, and Cydney. These exceptional young people are all gifted, talented, and anointed by God to do great things. They have brought light, joy, creativity, passion, leadership, friendship, and love to our school, and we are better people for having them in our lives. We look forward from this night with hope and joyful expectation to see what God has and will do in their life. It is my great pleasure to introduce 3 of our students to share with you tonight. First, our salutatorians. Yes, they tied exactly. Cydney Wise and Morgan Nash, followed by our valedictorian, Anna Raspberry.
Good evening and welcome, friends, family, teachers, and fellow students. I'm so glad to have you all here in support of my fellow graduates of myself. Graduation was always something that I was very excited about, but never thought would come so quickly. I remember being younger and waiting for a chance to walk across the stage to receive my diploma, but never fully accepting the fact that my graduation would mean the end of an era. Lord bless, thought I was not going to cry. It's fine. The beginning of my high school career, I decided that it was important for me to be the person that I needed in 7th, 8th, and even 9th grade. In saying that, I mean, I needed someone to show me what it was like to live, not just as a surviving, but a thriving believer in high school from day to day. How to go through life away from Sunday morning and Wednesday night worship leading, but to live as a person. So I began to strive to become that person for the next generation. I've said a lot of times in classroom settings and even with people in the hallway that my goal as a leader and as an upperclassman is to make my ceiling the next generation's floor. We are called to help and guide one another and give out tips and pointers so that they don't have to go through the same thing that we did. The amount of growth that I've seen in myself and also in others this short high school career has been amazing. We've had more young people willing to be diligent to grow and to learn who they are, and not in superficial ways, but in eager strides into who they truly are, and I'm very proud to be able to see it. Going forward into the future, I hope that is something that can continue here at FCS. You would see us as a graduating class of people who struggled with just not with themselves, but with each other. We are a people who have battled depression, anxiety, loneliness, doubts, and addiction, and have overcome so many things within this past year alone that is nothing short of a miracle. Seeing us, I hope that you would not see us as idols or even as models, but as people who have been where you've been and are on the other side of it. We're not perfect, and we still have our days when we just want to go punch something or sit in a corner and cry, but that's okay. We've been blessed with room to do that, blessed with teachers who will sit and listen to you. They remind you that it might be horrible for the moment, but tomorrow is coming and there's always a better day ahead. They have foresight to say that it's just because that there's not good now doesn't mean that God's not still working in it. There have been so many times where self-doubt and self-condemnation in the moment could destroy us, but the amount of prayer and life-giving words that has been spoken over us as students has been tremendous for our individual growth. We've all been given a lot of space to grow into a family that no matter who makes you upset and angry, these people on stage are my brothers and sisters, and I wouldn't have it any other way. We may fight and scream and end up with a bloody nose from an apple on the first day of school, to breaking multiple chairs, tables, and windows within sophomore year, all the way to this moment where I would not be more proud of the people I'm graduating beside. Within this small group of just 8 of us, we have a neurologist, computer technicians, artists, worship leaders, pastors, theater directors, film directors, and whatever else we've decided to be. We know who we are, and we can take on this new journey with fresh eyes that might be wobbly, but they're fresh and undeterred by this new territory. We have been truly blessed by having this environment as a school. There have been so many times throughout different school years that without the forceful compassion of these teachers, we would not have been able to make it to this point in the year. We appreciate you, and we love you, and we are very thankful for the prayers that have been prayed over us as we've grown up here. The main aspect of school that will be very difficult to leave is the spiritual atmosphere. We might not get it right and be perfect all the time. There might be downfalls and setbacks that we wish we could go back and change. But the fact that my entire school career here, we've been able to worship God freely in classrooms and in chapel has been amazing. Teachers like Miss Tammy, who would invite those who were early to school to worship and pray over the student body. Prayers of God's tangible presence and love to float on the hallway. This allowed for an openness in all of us that created space to share testimonies. Miss Lindsay had shared at chapel service and talked about making jokes about brokenness. And I can say that this graduating class has had a lot of brokenness in their childhoods and even in the most recent times, but we have made strides to not allow the brokenness to become the butt end of a joke, but to accept prayer for the issues. And that would be something I would love for the next generation to grab, that in the process of making the ceiling of this graduating class your floor is to be open with one another and to not allow what is considered social norm in other schools to become the social norm here. We are a school that seeks the best and loves one another, and we have all been blessed with having such a small school that we become like siblings. And with that, we fight, we argue, we want to yell at each other at the end of the day, but this is who you go to school with. Allow the walls of your own heart to come down and to be able to be ministered to, not only by your classmates, but by your teachers. This walk with Christ is not meant to be walked alone, and no one here has an issue that they're supposed to go through alone. Find people who you wish to see grow more in Christ and allow this to help you grow so that you can sharpen one another and not throw pity parties about your brokenness, but to call one another out and say, stop, look at tomorrow, look at the better day. Whether we've said it to your face or not, we as a graduating class care about you and love you guys to the biggest older brother and older sister mentality possible, and we encourage you to let love in.